morning and welcome to this morning's edition of Mindset Monday, brought to you by the Unscripted event. Hey, it's coming around again, May the 20th and 21st in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Get your tickets now because I have a real suspicion that we are going to sell out by this time next week. So make sure to go grab your tickets now. You can find them at www.theunscriptedevent.com. It is an event like no other. You will get personalized one-on-15 support. Better than one-on-one. So we look forward to seeing you May the 20th and 21st in the Atlanta, Georgia area. More details will come as soon as you sign up. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sparrow. This morning, we are talking about your personal legend. What is a personal legend, you may ask? Simply put, it's the art of achieving your destiny. We're all set out on different paths. We are all shooting for different things. What is your destiny? Over the past few weeks, we have discussed several things, and you should know your destiny. When you incorporate the focus into the clarity, there lies your destiny. Now, your destiny does change from time to time as far as what we see. We may all have different religious beliefs and what we really focus on as far as a spiritual sense. However, I will say I am a Christian. I'm not ashamed to admit that. So here we go. God knows your destiny when you're in your mother's womb. He knows your destiny before you're in your mother's womb. However, we as carnal human beings do not always know our destiny. And it appears to us that it shifts and changes at times. And it does. God knows what he created us for. There are things that we are shooting for, paths that we will take in order to help us achieve our destiny. One of the big things is to find what yours is. Here's 12 ways for you to achieve your destiny. You ready? Here we go. List them out. Make sure you're taking notes. Number one is to open up to yourself and discover what you love to do, but also what you don't love to do. Focus on that will propel you forward. Number two, take small and directed steps. You don't always have to take huge leaps. We all love to look at something and see how we leaped forward seemingly 10 steps. And it will happen at times. However, just like the rungs of a ladder, when you're going up a ladder, say a 20-foot ladder, you are not taking a 20-foot step each time. You're taking about a 1-foot step each time, which means you're going to have to take 20 steps to ascend to the top of that ladder. However, if that 20-foot ladder was a rung here and a rung way up here at 20, you're not going to make it. You just will not take that big of a step. So here's the beauty to it. Each small step gets you closer to that ultimate height, that ultimate goal that you are looking to achieve. One small step in front of another, each and every single day will get you there. You know, before we actually went live with this call this morning, I was speaking with some of the people that were on earlier. And today is day number 1 for me of 75 Hard. If you're not familiar with 75 Hard, it is a mental toughness program. Obviously, your body sees huge gains, but it's really about your mind. It's really about strengthening your mind. Why do I bring this up? Because to achieve that end goal, You don't do it all at one time. You take 75 daily calculated steps to get to the end result. So take small and directed steps. Make sure that they are in path with what you are working to achieve, your personal legend. Learn to say no to the items that are on your do not do list. Discover your talents. We all have talents. I am a big advocate for strengthening your strengths and sub out your weaknesses. You don't have to be strong at everything. The way to really make it and achieve is to have a team behind you. And no great success was built by one person. Again, getting back to the whole concept of faith. Even Jesus didn't do it alone. He had his Father, God, help him, push him, and propel him. He had the disciples to help him along the way. It wasn't a one-man show, even for Jesus Christ himself. So it's not a one-man show or one-woman show for any of us either. Choose your path. That's number 5. The choice you now invoke, the law of attraction. Once you have your path, now you can put focus into it and pull from the law of attraction. For those of you that are not familiar with the law of attraction, I highly encourage you to be here this Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, this week is a time change. Typically at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Wednesday, it is at 8. That is because we had the world-renowned Dr. James Dentley joining us this Wednesday. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. Dentley, make sure to look him up. Incredible, incredible, incredible man. He is a speaker all over the world. And when I first met him, I was just entranced with his style of delivery. In fact, I've been with him several times, and every time he grabs that microphone, I pull my phone out ready to record, because the manner in which he speaks, it is clearly from the heart, and it is very, very inspiring. Again, look him up, James Dentley. He will be with us live Wednesday night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to make it. Number 6 is ensure the decision is pure and it is of passion. Money makes the world go round. Don't ever let anybody convince you otherwise. You got to have money to pay for things. However, when you are following your passion and your desire and your dream, monetize it. It makes it that much better for you and for the receiver. When you do things from the heart, it is different from doing things for money. You know, I was actually chatting with somebody not too long ago about this concept exactly. And she had just met somebody. We were at an event together, and James Dentley was at the same event. And somebody came up to her and just started speaking. And she told me after, she said, he's all about the money. I said, yeah, why is that? She said, because he just came up and started talking to me about, you know, you can buy into this, you can buy into this, yada, yada, yada. I'm always curious to learn about myself and how to be more impactful and to inspire better. So I asked her, I said, what's the difference in that versus what I do? Because there is a monetary investment to really get into this group, which is where all the goodies come, which is where your growth really will be personified. Being a member of this group allows you to come in and be with people like this Wednesday's Dr. James Dentley. We had a gentleman that was a hypnotist on with us last month. I spoke with a movie producer yesterday about coming on and speaking with us. And there is an amazing, amazing man that has channels all over social media. He's called the Absolute Motivator. His real name is James Dixon. I was chatting with him this morning. He will be on with us to speak. And, you know, to get all those goodies, it's being a member. So there is an investment. So I asked this person, what's the difference in them, who you say is all about the money, versus me? She said, because you form a relationship to begin with. You know, this Monday morning call, we open up to everyone. Why? Are we giving away information? Are we giving away valuable information? Absolutely. This morning, you're learning how to develop your personal legend. So why would I do that? Why would I not say, hey, to get any of the good stuff, you got to come inside. You got to be a paid member, because I'm about relationship. Do I want everybody that comes through to join? No. Simply because I want a specific group of people that are actually members. You know, my vision is that we do life together. We know each other on a one-on-one basis. And when you just let anybody in, that's just not going to be the case. And there is bad juju that some people bring. We want to keep that away. You know, this is designed for us to be a family together, for us to pull from one another, for us to encourage one another, for us to help hold each other accountable so we can reach that next level. Number 7 is follow your heart. You know, that really goes in with doing something that's pure and passionate to you. Is follow your heart. You got to stay focused on what really, yes, jamesdentley.com, that would be the correct person, Susan. You got to stay focused on where your heart leads you. Number 8 is be willing to change. As most of all, you know, I own a commercial services business and have for 20 years now. When we first started, our name was A Once Over. A, because way back in the day when the first letter of the name ranked you up the phone book higher, we put in A just so we could be near the front. Once Over, man, this was genius. We're going to come in and we're going to hit it once, do it right, and then move on. However, very quickly, very, very quickly, I found out that customers related that more with, we're going to come in, do what we call in that industry a splash and dash, which means basically it was a pressure washing company, is a pressure washing company. A splash and dash is where you come in, you spray water, you say, hey, we're done, and you leave on. I incorporated A Once Over with, we're going to do it right the first time. Whereas within 6 or 8 weeks, I realized that more clients than not related that with, we're going to come in and basically do a crappy job so we can move on. I changed the name. I changed the name several times. In fact, I went into business in 2003, March the 14th, 2003. I did not incorporate the name Cleancrete, which is our current name, until 2008. So for 5 years, I bounced around a couple names. It wasn't because we were running from that name. Well, I guess it was. It was because, quite frankly, they were crappy names. So just be willing to change whatever it is. Take time for yourself. Rest. One big way to do this is I've recently got into reading, like absolutely reading all the time. I finished 2 full books, 300 plus pages in the past 2 days. I am reading to pick up more knowledge. But here's an interesting way. Get an audiobook. Literally turn your brain off, get you an audiobook, and listen to it. You may ask yourself, well, what's the point if I turn my brain off? Well, what that audiobook is saying is just pouring into your subconscious mind. So you're relaxed, you're resting, yet you're learning. I am a huge soaker. I love to be in water and just soak. My wife, not so much. She doesn't take baths. We'll keep that here. She's just a shower person. The house that we moved into a little over a year ago, we do not have a bath in our master bedroom. We have a huge shower, a shower plenty big enough for a shower, a bath, and all 8 people in our family to take a shower together. Hey, you got to save on water cost however you can, right? But and we don't actually do that. For those of you that are not overly familiar with me, we don't do that. I did tell my kids that when we first moved in. I said, we're all going to have to take a shower together to save water. And their faces, especially my middle son, like, oh no, But the compromise, because that is very important to me, was my wife says, well, let's get a hot tub. So we have a hot tub in the backyard. Truth be told, I don't have time to get into a hot tub, which kills me. So what do? I take a book down there with me, typically a paperback. I mean, I would prefer to read a book than do an audiobook. I generally do the audiobooks when I'm at the gym trying to get buff like Sparrow. But other than that, I would much prefer to do a paper book, a physical book. I take that down to the hot tub with me. I get in my reading, I get in my hot tub. I'm happy.
Holding the book, huh? Got to hold the book.
Yeah, I hold the book, and sometimes it gets wet, and that's okay. I'm pretty good about keeping it dry, taking care of it. Hi, Tina, welcome. Welcome, Gabby. A couple more people can, welcome. Another thing, turning your head off, turning your mind off to take a break and relax, and getting the information in still. Here's a perfect example for you. To me personally, I think that today's music for the most part is complete crap. I mean, it's a generational thing. I get it. We're never going to have music again like the 80s. It's unfortunate. However, the music that my kids listen to, I know a lot of the songs. Not because I sit there and study the songs, it's because they're playing. And although I'm cringing at what I'm hearing because it's crap, I'm still hearing it. Even though I'm turning my mind off to it and attempting to think of something else, I still hear it. That's how you can sing along with the song that you've never read the lyrics to, that you've never really paid much attention to, is because it gets in your head. When we go to church, which is pretty much every Sunday, I have one rule for my kids. You cannot have your earbuds in. Now, I don't say you can't be on your phone. I'm okay if they're sitting there playing games. I would much prefer that they're not. However, as all of us that are parents know, you choose your battles, pick your battles. So I'm okay with them being on their phone so long as they can hear what's being said. Even though consciously they think they're not listening, oh, they're hearing it. It's getting into their head. Take your break. Take time for yourself. Rest, relax. It's needed. Be willing to pivot. We talked about this several Mondays ago. You must be willing to pivot. Again, going back to the commercial services business, one of the things that I swore when I first got started that I would never do is offer additional services. I did not want to be the jack of all trades, master of nothing. I was very intentional. I do pressure washing and pressure washing only. That's it. And I held to that for most of the past 20 years. However, 5, maybe even 6 years ago, I started painting along with it, doing parking lot line striping. Why? I secured the largest contract that I had ever gotten at that time. And when we initially started communicating with them, I had somebody that was going to come in and paint for me. It was the cousin of one of my employees at the time. This contract was large enough. It was in the six-figure range. The contract was large enough to where it had to go way up the chain. It definitely was not a situation where one person could sign off. By the time we actually got that job and started it, it had been about a year, maybe a little over. And Mark, who was the cousin of the painter, he no longer worked for me. He went back to being a police officer. So that also kind of did away with the painter person. Well, I was backed up against the wall. I went and bought the equipment, and we've been offering painting ever since then. I was willing to pivot because something else that I saw was the fact that a lot of property managers, which is who we deal with, they like to have multiple services combined through one service provider, so they only have to deal with one person. I also picked up sweeping. We picked up several different things. I was willing to pivot, even though I didn't want to begin with. And that allowed us to grow. Number 11 out of 12, read the signs around you. There are signs everywhere. So many times people are looking for that huge sign in their face, or to hear an audible voice of God, or whatever the case may be. There are signs around you all the time. Sometimes it's just a tug in your heart. Sometimes, as crazy as it may sound, there may be a writing in the sky, or somebody says something that's just crazy, but it pertains to you. Follow the signs, pay attention. They are there for a reason. Number 12, take a risk or two. Everything is about risk, calculated risk. I was actually speaking with Matt yesterday, I believe it was, and we were talking about taking risk. And I said, in the past 8 months, I've invested into 2 companies, a very large 6-figure amount, and both of them have flopped. I hate it. That's a lot of money to lose. However, am I going to sit back and say, well, I lost 6 figures, I'm not going to risk anymore? Absolutely not. It's about taking calculated risk and making sure that there is a good payoff in the end. Now, what those look like to me would be a phenomenal payoff. Phenomenal. Neither one of them happened. Sometimes it will be the wrong move. Don't let that deter you. Keep going. So now that y'all had the 12 steps to really determine and follow your personal legend, we're going to take the rest of the call, the next 6 minutes, like we normally do, and let's hear from you guys. What's your personal legend? Again, a personal legend is the act of achieving your destiny. Who is on a path to achieve their destiny, or do you even know what your destiny is? If you're questioning what it is, go back over the past 4 weeks. And for those of you that are new to the call, you can go on YouTube at Jonathan Ellis Official, JONATHAN Ellis Official. These Monday morning calls are uploaded to the YouTube channel every week. The Wednesday night calls, however, are members only, so that is not released to the general public on YouTube. The calls are recorded, so they can always be picked up on. If you're not able to be on with us on a Wednesday night, they are recorded and put in our Mighty Networks platform, as well as the Facebook platform. So Again, we'll probably only have time to hear from one, maybe two people about this, about what your personal legend is. And just remember that this call was brought to you by the Unscripted event. It's coming back up again May the 20th and 21st. So we're just a few short weeks away in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Once you sign up at www.theunscriptedevent.com, more details will be given to you as far as the exact location of the event. This event truly is unscripted. It is all about the attendees. If you'd like to get one-on-one mentorship, one-on-one guidance from two people that have overachievers, to say the least, without a doubt, and been very successful in their craft and in their fields, get there, because you will get the one-on-one and 1-on-15 group atmosphere, because everybody will be pouring into you individually. All right, for the next roughly 3 minutes, we're going to go around. Who wants to share their personal destiny and how you're achieving it? We have time for one, maybe two at the most. Tina, good morning. I see your hand up.
Hi, good morning, Jonathan.
Welcome. Happy to have
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I have to say thank you to Lisa for inviting me. So I have been on a personal purpose and or destiny journey, whatever it is you want to call it, for the last 15 years. I'm an award-winning productivity coach who helps people get out of their own way and into results in less than 90 days. And my purpose or my destiny is to help women infuse this world with financial freedom. So I love working with female entrepreneurs, mompreneurs who really want to make a difference in this world. I help people basically build their own businesses, implement business growth strategies, and build basically their brand and help them build their lead generation strategy and all that fun stuff.
Very cool. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. We do hope that you will join into the community and spend more time with us, because that is actually something that I am personally looking for as well. I need a little bit of help with that. So yeah, definitely get involved, because clearly we're going to pull from inside the community before we look outside of it. So again, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? We have time for one more. And for those of you that are new, one thing you will learn about me is I am very conscious of time. I respect people's time. So when we say 9 to 9:30, it's 9 to 9:30. We're not going to 9:35 or whatever. So who else has another comment to make? Lisa.
So my mission in the world is to help people through their emotional trauma so they can live their best life. There you go. We're under the time mark.
You go, Lisa. Good girl.
We definitely are. Anybody else? Ken, are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I was.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. Good to see everyone.
You as
And
well.
my quick question or comment is about pivoting. It's very important to know when to pivot and when to stay the course and appreciate the process. It's a big difference, and that was something I was challenged with back in November, December this year. And so yeah, that's a huge thing for people to figure out the difference.
Absolutely. Don't use, I got to pivot as an excuse to quit. There is a difference in quitting versus advancing. So don't just use that as an excuse to say, well, I'm going to pivot, when in all reality, you're just cowarding out. Everybody have a fantastic week. We look forward to seeing everybody Wednesday night as the one and the only Sir Dr. James Dentley will be joining us. And yes, you heard me refer to him as Sir first. And that is simply because he is actually knighted by another country. When I tell you this man is powerful, he's powerful. Make sure you get here Wednesday night to hear Dr. James Dentley speak. Bring your notebooks and enjoy the time with him. Up until then, enjoy your week. Be very, very blessed and unstoppable.